The world watched in shock as the United States abruptly suspended military aid to Ukraine. This decision, a stark reversal of previous commitments, has sent ripples of uncertainty across the globe. Ukraine, locked in a bitter conflict, relies heavily on U.S. military support. The suspension has immediate and significant consequences for Ukraine's defense capabilities. Without U.S. aid, Ukrainian cities and critical infrastructure become vulnerable. The international community is grappling with the implications of this decision. Some view it as a betrayal of a steadfast ally, while others see it as a strategic miscalculation with far-reaching consequences. The decision to suspend military aid to Ukraine has sparked intense debate and speculation. Understanding the motivations behind this move is crucial for deciphering its potential implications. Some analysts believe the suspension is a tactical maneuver by the Trump administration. They argue it's a bargaining chip designed to pressure Ukraine into a deal, potentially involving access to valuable minerals. Others see it as a more permanent shift in U.S. foreign policy. They point to a potential desire within the Trump administration to normalize relations with Russia, even at the expense of Ukrainian sovereignty. This view suggests a willingness to appease Russia, potentially emboldening further aggression. The suspension of aid has undoubtedly damaged U.S. credibility on the world stage. Allies are questioning the reliability of U.S. commitments, while adversaries are emboldened by this perceived weakness. The long-term consequences of this decision remain uncertain, but it has undoubtedly shaken the foundations of the existing global order. The sudden and unexpected nature of the decision has further fueled uncertainty. Without clear communication from the U.S. government, allies and adversaries alike are left to interpret the motivations and potential consequences, leading to a climate of mistrust and instability. The suspension of U.S. military aid to Ukraine has placed Europe at a critical juncture. Recognizing the gravity of the situation, European nations are stepping up their support for Ukraine, demonstrating a commitment to regional security and transatlantic solidarity. European leaders understand that a Russian victory in Ukraine would have dire consequences for the entire continent. One of the most significant developments is the increase in European defense spending. The European Union has proposed an ambitious plan to mobilize 800 billion euros for defense, a clear signal of its commitment to strengthening its military capabilities. This funding surge aims to address critical shortfalls in European defense and reduce reliance on U.S. military might. Despite these positive steps, challenges remain. Europe's defense landscape is fragmented, with varying levels of military capabilities and incompatible weapon systems. Coordinating a unified and effective response requires overcoming these obstacles and fostering greater cooperation among member states. Another hurdle is the need for increased personnel. Expanding European armies to meet the demands of a more assertive Russia necessitates attracting and training a new generation of soldiers, a challenge many European nations are grappling with. The suspension of U.S. military aid has left Ukraine with pressing military needs that require immediate attention. Addressing these gaps is crucial for ensuring Ukraine can defend itself against potential Russian aggression. One of the most urgent needs is replacing the U.S. Patriot missile systems. These systems form the backbone of Ukraine's air defense, and their absence leaves Ukrainian airspace vulnerable. European nations are exploring options to provide alternatives, such as the French-Italian SAMP-T system. However, deploying these systems rapidly and integrating them into Ukraine's existing air defense network is a significant logistical and technical challenge. Another pressing concern is ensuring uninterrupted satellite communication capabilities. Ukraine relies heavily on U.S.-provided Starlink satellite internet service for battlefield communications and coordination. Losing access to Starlink would severely disrupt Ukrainian military operations. Finding a European replacement for Starlink is a top priority. This requires not only identifying a suitable alternative but also ensuring seamless integration and uninterrupted service during the transition. The stakes are high, as any disruption in communication could have devastating consequences on the battlefield. Section 5. Forging a Stronger Shield. The Future of NATO and European Security. The suspension of U.S. military aid to Ukraine has profound implications for NATO and the future of European security. The alliance, founded on the principle of collective defense, faces a critical test of its unity and resolve. The U.S. decision has raised doubts about the reliability of U.S. commitments under Article 5, which guarantees a collective response to an attack on any NATO member. This uncertainty comes at a time when Russia, under Putin's leadership, has shown a willingness to use military force to achieve its geopolitical objectives. The annexation of Crimea and the ongoing conflict in eastern Ukraine serve as stark reminders of Russia's assertive posture. While Russia is currently not deemed capable of launching a large-scale offensive against NATO territory, the situation remains volatile. Supporting Ukraine's defense is seen as crucial for deterring further Russian aggression and protecting the eastern flank of NATO. The crisis presents an opportunity for Europe to assume a more prominent role in its own defense. Strengthening European military capabilities and fostering greater cooperation within NATO is essential for ensuring the continent's long-term security in a more uncertain world. Section 6. Beyond Conventional Defense. Addressing Vulnerabilities in a New Era. In an era of evolving threats, bolstering conventional military capabilities is only part of the solution. Europe must also address vulnerabilities in critical areas such as nuclear deterrence and intelligence gathering. The evolving geopolitical landscape demands a comprehensive approach to security, encompassing both traditional and non-traditional threats. Nuclear deterrence, a cornerstone of European security during the Cold War, requires renewed attention. Modernizing aging nuclear arsenals and ensuring credible deterrence capabilities remain vital for deterring potential adversaries. Furthermore, Europe needs to enhance its intelligence gathering capabilities. Relying on U.S. intelligence leaves Europe vulnerable to disruptions and limitations. Investing in independent space-based intelligence gathering, such as advanced satellite systems, is crucial for providing early warning and situational awareness. Cybersecurity is another critical area demanding attention. Strengthening cyber defenses to counter potential cyber attacks on critical infrastructure and government institutions is paramount in today's interconnected world. Section 7. Cutting off the lifeline. Reducing Russian fossil fuel revenue. Despite facing severe sanctions, Russia continues to generate substantial revenue from its vast fossil fuel reserves. This income stream provides a lifeline for the Kremlin, enabling it to finance its military operations and undermine the impact of international pressure. Cutting off this financial lifeline is crucial for increasing the effectiveness of sanctions and curtailing Russia's ability to wage war. One approach is to reduce European dependence on Russian energy imports. This requires diversifying energy sources, investing in renewable energy infrastructure, and implementing energy efficiency measures. Another strategy is to target the financial institutions and individuals involved in facilitating Russia's fossil fuel trade. Imposing stricter sanctions on these entities and individuals can disrupt transactions and increase the cost of doing business with Russia. Furthermore, exploring innovative mechanisms to limit Russia's oil and gas revenues, such as price caps or escrow accounts, could further restrict the Kremlin's access to vital funds. Section 8. The stakes are high. The future of Europe hangs in the balance. The suspension of U.S. military aid to Ukraine marks a critical juncture for Europe. The continent faces a stark choice: either rise to the challenge and forge a new path toward greater security and self-reliance, or risk becoming increasingly vulnerable in a world where traditional alliances are tested and the rules-based order is under threat. The stakes could not be higher. The outcome of the current crisis will have profound implications not only for Ukraine but for the future of Europe and the transatlantic partnership. A failure to effectively counter Russian aggression will embolden authoritarian regimes worldwide, undermining democracy and the rules-based international order. On the other hand, a united and resolute response from Europe, in close coordination with its allies, has the potential to deter further aggression, safeguard European security, and reaffirm the principles of sovereignty and territorial integrity. Section 9. A call to action. The need for swift and decisive action. The time for complacency is over. The suspension of U.S. military aid to Ukraine underscores the urgency for Europe to assume greater responsibility for its own security. Europe must bolster military capabilities, reduce dependence on Russian energy, and strengthen diplomatic efforts. Prioritize Ukraine's needs with military equipment, training, and intelligence support. Expedite delivery of critical defensive weaponry, and ensure access to essential resources. Accelerate defense integration efforts. Streamline procurement, increase budgets, and foster cooperation among member states. A unified European defense structure is essential for long-term security. reduce reliance on Russian energy, invest in renewables, diversify suppliers, and promote energy efficiency. Breaking free from Russian energy dependence is crucial for Europe's strategic autonomy.
So hit that subscribe button, ring the bell for notifications, and let's turn the page on a new adventure together. Get ready to experience books like never before, only on VBook 360. Like, comment, and share to support the channel and keep the video magic alive. Thank you for stopping by. And remember, every video has a story, and every story deserves to be shared. See you in the next video.